Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk to you about 20 facts you may not know about the Chernobyl accident. On 26 April 1986, a nuclear power plant, Chernobyl near Pripyat, Ukraine, exploded due to a poor management system. As a result, one of the plant's nuclear reactor cracked open and a huge amount of radioactive materials leaked into the atmosphere. It is the biggest man-made disaster in history. This incident triggered the release of substantial amount of radioactivity into the atmosphere. The effect of this disaster was fearsome and it is still being felt today. Here are 20 facts you may not know about this man-made disaster. Number 1. 20% of those deaths were suicides. In the Chernobyl accident, approximately 60,000 people died. Including all of them, all but 12,000 died by admitting suicide because they could not tolerate the pain of nuclear radiation. Number 2. 8 lakh men risked their lives by exposing themselves to radiation in order to contain the situation. 25,000 of these have died and 70,000 are disabled. The radiation of the nuclear explosion not only took 60,000 people's life but also disabled a huge number of human beings, which would be more than 70,000. And the radiation effects on the future generation too. Approximately 8 lakh inhabitants are at risk. They're suffering a lot to lead their normal life. Number 3. Today, the impact of accidents, psychological distress is the largest public health concern. Do you know about the nuclear bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima? The impact of the accident has turned into a great psychological disaster among the people of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Same as the impacts of the Chernobyl accident come with big psychological distress in the largest public health concern. Number 4. There are plans to use the areas immediately surrounding the reactor for activities such as radioactive waste processing or the development of natural preserves. After the explosion of Chernobyl accident, the authority of the Chernobyl took a plan to reuse the reactor as well as the radioactive waste to develop the natural preserves. Number 5. The region has become one of the world's most unique wildlife sanctuaries, with thriving populations of wolves, deer, beavers, eagles, and other animals. The affected area is now abandoned and empty place without the human being. Even the wild animals including wolves, deer, bears, eagles also winged to the safe places to survive. Number 6. The radiation leak caused the nearby forest to turn a bright ginger color, thus the forest was named the Red Forest. The radiation spread not only across the inhabitants but also through the forest. By the reason of radiation, the nearby forest turned into a bright ginger color. That's why the nearby forest was known as the Red Forest. Number 7. The environmental group Greenpeace places the eventual death toll at 93,000 cancer deaths worldwide. The big man-made Chernobyl accident was also responsible for causes cancer and death across the world. Number 8. The disaster released at least 100 times more radiation than the atom bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. It is unbelievable as well as incredible information that the Chernobyl accident released approximately 100 multiple more radiation than the atom bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So do you imagine what a great disaster it was? Number 9. The Chernobyl nuclear accident is known as the worst and most serious accident in nuclear history. In the history of nuclear accident, the Chernobyl was the worst one. The fatalities and casualties were huge and the power of radiation spread nearby the places where nobody can belong, even animals. In one word, there has no life exist now. Number 10. The Chernobyl disaster remains the only level 7 incident on the international nuclear event scale, making it the biggest man-made disaster of all time. According to the International Nuclear Event Scale, the accident remains level 7 incident, which was the biggest man-made fault. Number 11. Surprisingly, the overall rate of cancer deaths and other health effects related to Chernobyl accident is lower than initially feared. It was a bright news in the dark accident that at the initial point, researchers thought that cancer, death and many of so casualties and fatalities would be huge. But surprisingly, the casualties were not happened as like the initial thought. Number 12. Some people have returned to the affected area with their families in order to take advantage of the government's compensation benefit. It was an immature decision of the inhabitants that many of them come back to the affected area with their family to get compensation benefit from the government. But it would be a great mistake for them because they would be disabled by the radiation of nuclear. Number 13. According to the US Nuclear Regulatory Commission, 28 of the workers at Chernobyl died in the 4 months following the accident. Within the 4 months of the Chernobyl accident, there are 24 workers died according to NRC. Number 14. Around 97% of the radioactive material remains in the crumbling sarcophagus. By the massive accident, the radioactive material was destroyed, among them 97% total destroyed. Only a crumbling sarcophagus was found there. Number 15. Belarus received 70% of the contamination from Chernobyl. By the Chernobyl accident, Ukraine was not only contaminated but also Belarus. Belarus was the nearest and border country of Pripyat, Ukraine. That's why Belarus had to receive 70% of the contamination from Chernobyl nuclear accident. Number 16. Every renovated house in Chernobyl today has an inscription on it bearing the name of the property owner. The area is now peopleless and empty. People are not living here right now, but the property of them is still here. Every renovated house in Chernobyl is hung on an inscription which was written the name of the property owner as the symbol of their memory. Number 17. Greenpeace expects up to 60,000 cases of thyroid cancer from the incident. At the initial amount of the accident, Greenpeace thought that approximately 60,000 people would be suffered from the thyroid cancer. Number 18. More than 5 million people live in areas that are considered to be. In the affected area, more than 5 million people live in the areas. But they are not homeless only for the nuclear explosion. They went here and they are only to survive themselves. Number 19. Not surprisingly, the accident has cost the Soviet Union, the Russian Federation and Ukraine hundreds of billions of dollars. The loss of Ukraine means the loss of Russia because Ukraine was the part of the Soviet Union. However, the accident has cost the Soviet Union, the Russian Federation and Ukraine hundreds of billions of dollars. Number 19. Not surprisingly, the accident has cost the Soviet Union, the Russian Federation and Ukraine hundreds of billions of dollars. The loss of Ukraine means the loss of Russia because Ukraine was the part of the Soviet Union. However, the accident has cost the Soviet Union, the Russian Federation and Ukraine hundreds of billions of dollars. Thank you so much for watching everyone and staying with me. Keep supporting my channel. Till then, take care and goodbye. Thank you so much for watching everyone and staying with me. Keep supporting my channel. Till then, take care and goodbye.